I was in the hospital because I'm a physiotherapist. That's why I studied.
You skipped that part.
Like I missed classes. I missed clinical. I mean, I hope my dad won't listen to this podcast. I missed classes. I missed clinical.
Like no wonder.
I feel like design saved me. Yeah, design kind of saved me. And there's also something that about branding that people probably don't talk about, which is when you make mistakes, people make excuses for you.
Absolutely.
That is branding. Consistency is the order of the game. You know, I used to say something about branding that it's better you are consistently wrong than for you to be right today and wrong tomorrow.
Yeah, wrong tomorrow.
It's better. It's better. So if you don't pay attention to branding, you're losing this thing.
Whiskey FC. Do you know Whiskey FC?
Yeah.
Do you actually know about that army? It's actually an army.
I know. I see them on Twitter. I see how
they are the most vicious army I know of. Just a quick message before we dive into today's episode. I found something interesting in our data which showed that only about 25% of our viewers are actually subscribed to the channel. If you've been enjoying the content that we're creating, if you've been finding it exciting or learning something new, I have a little favor to ask of you. Please take a moment to subscribe to the channel, as it goes a long way in helping us deliver more exciting episodes like this and create more valuable content. You're amazing. Hi, welcome to another episode of the Hungry Creative Podcast. My name is Mo and I'm your host today for another exciting episode. We have on the session today an amazing guest, and I think everyone would like to hear from him to share his insights and his experience, his wealth of experience building businesses in Nigeria, building brands, and he has done some design education, and I'm really eager to hear a lot of things that he has to share today on the session. So would you introduce yourself to our audience?
Hi Mo, really good to be here. I'm a big fan of what you're doing through the podcast. I mean, I've had to listen to like a few people on the podcast, and I picked up a lot of lessons as well. So yeah, I'm really glad to be here. My name is Tunji Ogunoye. I'm a brand designer and I'm a director at FourthCanvas. FourthCanvas is a strategy-led design agency out of Nigeria, working with clients across Africa and globally as well. Yeah, that's who I am. I mean, you get to know about me one week.
Yeah, there's so much time for us to know more about Tunji.
Yeah.
But Tunji, I think one of the first things that I saw from your profile was like, obviously came across you on Instagram. I was like, who is this guy? Oh, okay. He's into some interesting things. And I think one of the first things I saw was like you of course, everyone evolves, but I think you evolved. It was visible on your on your timeline. Some people just archive all that, So see some old pictures of you. I'm like, see this guy. Okay, yeah. And then it's like there's that timeline just gradually growing, So I think it's a good story. It's like an inspiring story for any young designer or any young entrepreneur or creative, for that matter. That you can just look and be like, oh, this person can actually. If this person can actually do this, then I can do it. Yeah. So I think this session, if more than anything, people will be able to hear how you actually did it, right? Obviously, you're still growing and this is not like you're at the final destination. Yeah. But, there's definitely so many things that you encountered along the way that, people would like to hear, from branding, from your own personal journey, from discovering your passion, which very, very key, very, very interesting experience from our chat. So how did this all begin, Tunji? How did you first come across that in moments when you felt like, okay, this is it, this is actually what I want to do?
So yeah, I mean, I came across design, so I wouldn't even say randomly. It was like a build up. I can't say when I came across design, but I just discovered that while I was in university, I was just fascinated about posters. So when I see posters, I think from OAU, by the way. So OAU is littered with posters. Every all of residence, every department, they have notice board. So I was just curious. So every time I see a notice board, I'm curious. I look at it, I check it. I mean, I didn't know anything about typography or design elements there. And then in my fellowship as well, I remember talking to the public secretary then, the PRO, the fellowship, that, oh, who does the designs for the fellowship? And she was like, oh, we have a few designers in church, but at times they get busy. We have to pay outsiders to do designs. I'm like, why will a church be this big and then there is nobody to design constantly? So I said, okay, I will just pick up design and learn it. Then during ASUU strike 2013, I was home for like 6 months. It was a 6-month strike. So the first few months, I was doing something else. I was in the hospital because I'm a physiotherapist. That's why I studied.
You skipped that part.
I'm a physiotherapist, medical rehabilitation. So that's what I studied. So the first 3 months, 2 months I was in the hospital. So I was in 300 level in school then. So I mean, according to the trajectory, I'm not yet a clinical student. Clinical starts from 400 and 500. But I mean, I just got a privilege. I was in the hospital just observing what they were doing, and I was like, I don't think this is what I want to do. So in the same ASUU strike, I spoke to a church member who was into design and printing. That, oh, Egmo, I want to learn design. I want to learn this thing that you're doing. And it's okay. Come to my office. So I went to him, and then he took me through CorelDRAW, give me assignments. I mean, start designing business card, designing labels on souvenirs, designing events, obituary posters.
Very specific.
Yeah, design church programs, design a lot of things, design invitation cards for harvest in church and all those stuff. So that was how I picked up design, and then went back to school after ASUU strike. I just started doing it. I just started helping my classmates, my roommates. They wanted to do a proposal, I wanted to submit something, then they design. I would just help them. I wasn't doing design for money then, because that wasn't why I learned it. I learned design to maybe two things: to meet a need in fellowship then, and to also just explore something else, something that I think I enjoyed. You understand? So that was how I met design. That was how. And then I remember my final year, I probably spent 50-60% of my time designing. Like, I missed classes, I missed clinical. I mean, I hope my dad won't listen to this podcast. I missed classes, I missed clinical.
Like, no wonder.
I missed a lot of it, and I almost didn't graduate with my colleagues. I was just lucky. One lecturer just picked up interest in me and just helped me navigate the entire stress. Yeah,
wow, it must have been a good
experience. She was really like, actually two of them. One was tougher, one was softer. You understand?
I see.
Yeah, so I left school. Then I was already really big in design. Like, a few people that knew me then knew that I could design. So yeah, most people that knew me
from just picking up designing,
all my classmates. I remember doing posters for elections. For like, I mean, you know, when you have like 10 posts that contested in the department, and like 8 of the posters, I designed them. You understand? So everybody in the department knew that was what I was doing. Everybody in my fellowship, everybody in my hostel. So yeah, I was really big. I mean, relative to the scale, then I was really big in design. And then I also met someone that probably helped me well in that process. Tunji Ogunoye, very cool. He's my very good friend. He's also a designer. He's an entrepreneur now. He runs startups. Yeah, and he's also still big on design education. Yeah, left school, and I was still designing. And then Tunde, that my friend, he got a job with an agency in Lagos. He was there for a month, and then he came back. He resigned to come because he was in architecture, to continue his masters. So then he told me that design is a big deal in Lagos, so that we could make a living out of this thing. That we could, like, even recommended me to replace him on that role when he was living. But I couldn't go to Lagos. Like, Lagos for me then, I grew up in Accra. Lagos was like this big place that if care is not taken, the people could just swallow you on the road. So I was
for real
of Lagos.
Facts.
Yeah, and I didn't really have like close family in Lagos that I could live with.
Yeah,
families that I had were like extended family, like people that probably haven't even spoken to in a while. So I wasn't going to go to Lagos. I wasn't going to take that job. So I went back to Accra to just, so in physiotherapy, you wait till you get inducted. So I was waiting for the induction time, because if you're not inducted, you can't do internship. So I was just waiting. But I was designing, and I got back to Accra in June, and then I got a call on a Saturday, and it was Victor Fatomi on the call. I'm like, oh, interesting. Wow. And I had his number saved on my phone, actually. He called me. I'm like, why is Victor calling me? I said that's FourthCanvas. I said, why is FourthCanvas calling me? And then he said, oh, I am Victor, FourthCanvas, creative director.
So FourthCanvas was the company that Tunde left?
No, that was different.
No.
So FourthCanvas,
that was different.
The company Tunde was LA Creative, Noella
okay.
Yeah, in Lagos. So Victor called me and he said, oh, that someone recommended him for the job. That Tunde, the same Tunde guy, recommended him for the job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tunde,
so Tunde was a social media person, was posting his logos online. He's a very brilliant designer, probably one of the best I've met. And then so he caught Victor's attention because Victor had a page then, Logo Nigeria, that was running. So Tunde will post the post and then tag Logo Nigeria. So that's how Victor knew Tunde. So Victor spoke to Tunde that I want a designer, I want to hire a designer in Akure. Are you willing to move? And say, oh no, I'm in architecture school doing my master's. I can't take a full-time job now. I'm in school. But I have someone in Akure who is based in Akure who can take up the job. And then he sent my number to Victor. I think he asked me if he could send my number. Yeah. And I said, oh, why not send it? And then Victor called me. And then, we met up that day. It was July 16, 2016. We met up that day.
You remember?
Yeah, I remember. Met up that day. And then he said, oh, he said, let me see your portfolio. So I didn't even have a PDF design. I just had my best works in a folder. So I showed him and he would say like, oh, is that all? Do I have more? I was like, these are my best works. So anything you see outside this folder, I don't know. So I opened the other folder. Okay, these are those. So he said, no problem. I'm hired. And discussed salary. I think it was 25,000.
Right then. Damn. Okay. Of course. Of course, you're hired.
And then I said, oh, why not? Yes, let's go. 25K in 2016 is,
25.
Yeah, it's probably
bad money.
If I'm going to put the value now, it's probably going to be like 150K.
Yeah, like 150K.
Like 150, which is, for an entry level role, which isn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
And then, that was
wasn't bad.
I started working with FourthCanvas. And then right there and there, started working. There's a project that came in just that morning, and then I had to get on it immediately. Victor's laptop got stolen the night before, so maybe not for those thieves, I won't join FourthCanvas.
Oh my
so yes, the laptop got stolen over the night.
Talk about random things.
Yeah, so he woke up and then he didn't have a laptop, he didn't have a phone.
Damn.
And then
wow,
it was.
So that was what triggered.
Yeah, there was a project that came in. So we got a project from Lagos. Like, oh, Victor, can you guys work on this project for us? And I said, oh yes, we can. And then you have to figure out how to do it. So he needed to hire a designer immediately because it wasn't about the skill, it was about, do you have a laptop to work?
Wow, that's mad.
So that was I joined FourthCanvas 2016, July 16. And then the following Monday, I was zooming in the office. We had an office space that we were using then in Akure, and then that was it. Started working on that was when my design career started before then, but like the real career, like the real professional career started in 2016, July 16. Before then, I probably was, I think a professional is someone who you can earn. What you earn from what you do is probably able to set up some bills for you, at least at the start. So then I was earning money. I was earning money from design. So maybe 2014, I was already earning money. But 2016 was when like I started proper design career. Yeah.
So many interesting moments and incidences that led to this whole, you being here.
Yeah.
And I think one of them is really the ASUU strike.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone kind of found themselves or found something during the ASUU strike.
Yeah.
ASUU strike, I remember a number of people have actually told me, during the ASUU strike, because it's like we don't get out kind of long breaks in school.
Exactly.
It's always like maybe 2 months max or 1 month or something.
4 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah. And then you're back. You don't even have time to think.
Yeah.
before you settle down, you're back to school. They're already saying, come and register for your courses. Come and meet your course advisor or something.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite interesting how that strike kind of puts a lot of things into perspective. Imagine if you didn't have that strike, you'd probably be a physiotherapist.
Yeah, now. Probably. Or maybe
you'd probably be
the university that found a way to arrange something and I'll make design. But yeah, it was a strike.
when I heard some people that went to AAU, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Brother Shaggy, some random, I was like, yeah. And then when I was hearing their stories, I was like, oh yeah, it makes sense. You guys are like
there are a lot of them.
rascals.
Fireboy, Chinko
Right.
Ekun, Superboy
Damn.
Ted,
Yeah, I remember Chico
Black
Ekun too.
Bones, like a lot of them.
Yeah. OAU was a kind of school that I visited maybe a couple times, maybe twice or thrice. Yeah, my uncle was a professor there, and they used to have like a quarters. So I used to come there like once in a while. But people be like, I know OAU students are like so always hyped about the school, like school is the best, we have the best architecture. For real, they have the best architecture. But it's like old architecture. It's like old. Old architecture is the great architecture nonetheless. Even UNILAG has like great architecture, but they always like so hype. Like when it comes to this, you can't. But then when it comes to the strike, nobody comes close.
We know that.
when it comes to the strike and the extra years, nobody comes close. Bruh, I hear people like some of my friends and one of my good friends as well. Like was telling me how he was supposed to graduate and then a lecturer just said, you know what? All of you in this set, you're not graduating. I'm like, what?
Like that. Yeah.
Like why? Stories, Out of nothing.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. But yeah, man. It's been nice hearing your story. I think it's quite interesting. I bet a lot of people didn't know this.
Yeah.
Pivoting from physiotherapy.
Yeah.
I've heard all sorts, but I think this one takes this one is a bit of a jump. I've heard of random transitions, but this is quite
physio
interesting.
to design is on it's unprecedented. How did you get there?
It isn't. To be honest.
The funny thing is that there was a form I was filling.
They
said, "What's your background?" That was the question. What's your background? And
was it recently?
No, probably like 5 years ago. Yeah, like 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
And then there was design, something like design and creative. There was sciences, and then there was medical, like something medical. And I could feel any of these three because,
to be fair,
because in secondary school I was a science guru, like I was a science kid, like physics, chemistry, mathematics. Just leave it. You understand?
Well, yeah, man. Interesting one. And then I remember you were saying about how you were like you didn't realize you were frustrated doing physiotherapy until you discover design. So that even gives me another line of thought that sometimes it's possible that we're doing something, we don't know how frustrated we are doing it until we discover something else that then gives us like, oh wow, I've actually not been enjoying what I've been doing. I've like been struggling to do it. And there's a saying that the dream is to not have to work for a day. Like that you wake up and then you're like, oh yeah, like it's not work.
This life.
I chose this life. So even when you're grumpy and you're tired, you're like, yeah, it's fun. I'm enjoying it. So is that like similar to your story from discovering design?
Yeah, it was similar. It was similar because I was struggling in school, not because I wasn't a good student, but it was just I was just struggling to read. I was just struggling to I just didn't see myself, you understand, in that thing. The road is struggle, like when you have exams. So for instance, for context, I don't read for exams until the exam. So you don't see me read randomly when there's an exam or test. No.
And you still pass?
Yeah, I tried. I'm a brilliant guy.
So that's even crazier that you were so brilliant, or you are so brilliant from saying that you were such a high flying student in secondary and then now going to university, but obviously now doing a course that you just did not see yourself doing, now changed. So it's like even in as much as you are such a brilliant student, you can still struggle in the wrong environment. I
also felt like I was also kind of frustrated because my dad wanted me to do medicine.
Okay.
And because of that, I also wanted to do medicine. You understand?
Okay.
Then I didn't get medicine. I got physiotherapy, medical rehabilitation.
Right.
Then I wrote JAMB again, 100 level. I wrote JAMB again, 200 level, and I didn't get it. So
Wow.
when I was in 100 level, I was just like, I will soon leave. By the way, I will soon leave school. So why am I even studying? Why am I even? You understand? And then I didn't leave. Then 20 level, I was like, wow.
I see.
20 level is when the real work starts. Like that's when I started studying. So we're doing anatomy, biochemistry, physiology, and these are voluminous subjects. You understand? For instance, you probably can't understand anatomy. You just have to put it in your head. You can still understand biochemistry, understand stuff. But I don't understand that this muscle is here. Like you don't know it. You either know it or you don't know it. You understand?
Right.
My background was that I don't cram. Like I don't enjoy cramming. Like I could. So for instance, chemistry, physics in secondary school, I could easily work my way around any question. Like I could easily work my way around. I don't even at times I don't need to know the formula. I just see the units, see the options. I like, oh, if the unit is kilogram and meters, and the option is kilogram per meter square, that means it's just kilogram over square of meters. You understand? So
makes sense.
That was me. So I was struggling in physiotherapy. Like I was struggling. I didn't really fail. I mean, I didn't fail. You understand? Because I mean, I passed in 300 level. There was something happened. I failed a course, but I passed the receipt. So yeah, I finished with my class. I didn't repeat a class, but I was struggling. You understand? But when I found design,
and in OU for that matter, of course, OU makes everything harder.
Yeah, exactly.
I said OU makes everything harder.
Exactly. So when I found design, it was like, oh, this is something I enjoy doing. You understand? It just made more sense to me than physiotherapy, than what I was studying in school at that time. So I enjoyed design. I was designing yearbooks, designing jotters, designing for events on campus. Like I was leg deep into it. I remember there's one experience I can't remember. I don't know what was going on in my head. So I was designing yearbook for final year students for English department 2015 class of 2015, yes. And then yearbooks now, a lot of pages, like pictures, text,
pictures and text.
So, and I was doing this project, and I had exam to write. I think I had exam. So my last paper was on a
talk about an unfocused person.
You said?
Or a focused. I said talk about an unfocused person or a focused
depending on where you're looking at it from.
Depending on how you see it, exactly.
So I think my previous paper was on a Monday. Then my next paper was maybe on the following Monday, which is 1 week. So I'm like, let me finish this yearbook before I start reading for the exams. That was my mind. So I was designing probably 16 hours every day. Wake up, carry laptop, design, finish the day, the next day. And I didn't finish this project. I didn't drop that laptop until a night to the exam. And that's when I started reading the book. So yeah, it was just clear that I was just trying to pass.
Your priorities were set.
Yeah, I was just trying to pass. I knew that if I read for an exam, like even if it's just reading once or twice, I'll probably pass the exam. I mean, once I just go through it, I mean, retain it for like 6-7 hours and then get to the exam hall and then pour it down for them, and that is it. So that was it. But I feel like design saved me. Yeah, design kind of saved me, because if there was no design option, if that alternative didn't exist for me, I'll probably still be doing physiotherapy now, and I'll be probably just struggling through
getting by.
I mean, physiotherapy is an amazing course, but of course, some people enjoy it. Some of us didn't enjoy it. You understand? So even a lot of my classmates moved to the UK on physiotherapy. They got jobs here and they're working in the UK. You understand? So that is a good career. It's a career nothing path, about it. It's an amazing career. You understand? But then, like, I just feel like design saved me. I still think that maybe if I had studied engineering, which was what I wanted to really, really study, I probably wouldn't be in design. I'd probably be in an NNPC or a Shell or an oil company or a consulting firm, just like rising through the ranks. And because I wouldn't need design to save me. I'll probably just be doing what I was doing. But design just came and saved the day. Yeah.
Wow. And you became good at it, and you're here, a partner. So it's a win.
Yeah,
it's a win at the end of the day. It's a win at the end of the day. Wow. That makes sense. And that, I think that just takes me to the next segment, or should I say the next series of conversations that we'll be having, which is based on your community-led projects. And I see that same should I say passion?
Yeah.
I see that same passion playing out through your Dear Designer project, right? And through some of your content that you've done. Can you tell us about the Dear Designer project? What inspired you to start Dear Designer and work on that project?
So I think for Dear Designer, I knew Dear Designer will come up because it seems that project is just chasing me everywhere I'm running to. So I think for me, it's 2018. Yes, that was the year. It was. Yeah. I just wanted to do. So a friend of mine, Oyin Akindele, my very good friend, in 2017, she did a challenge on Facebook, which was she was writing every day. Like every day she would write. It's not even one sentence or like an entire story. She did it every day for the entire 2017. Or maybe it was 2016. Wow. Then I was like, oh, what also can I do daily? You understand? For a year. And okay, let me tweet about design. You understand? Okay. Let me just tweet about. Then I was already teaching design. I started teaching design in 2014. Yeah, 2015. Yeah, 2014. I was already teaching design. I had a lot of students, a lot of people that like they learned from me. They are already like professionals and doing well.
In what capacity were you teaching design?
So we had a club on campus then that Tunji Ogunoye that they founded.
Okay.
It was campus. And then we're already teaching design, teaching students like ourselves, teaching them design. Okay. And then after that, so it was campus. Then when I joined FourthCanvas, I was also teaching. So there was this Yes or Wow training that FourthCanvas was doing with partnership with Red and the Future Project. So I was also teaching design. So yeah, I was already teaching design. I probably taught like 200, 300 people. You understand?
I see. At that time. Okay. So it was just building on that same.
So why not just tweet about design and then education? So I started tweeting. And then so I do it every day. So I didn't tweet every day, but I tweeted for every day. You understand? Okay. Like there are days I didn't tweet, there are days that I tweeted 10, there were days I tweeted 20. Okay. I remember the last day of the year, December 31 that year. I was like, I was do 365. So I wasn't consistent with it, but I made sure that at the end of the year I was 365.
At the end of the year makes sense.
And then that was how it started. So the hashtag was Dear Designer. So it was hashtag Dear Designer. Hashtag Dear Designer. Okay. So I did that tweet for the entire year, and then just towards the ending, I was like, okay, do I just stop tweeting? Like, what do I do with this? Because I already gained a lot of impressions, a lot of followers. Like, even to today, people still call me Dear Designer. Like, it was really.
Like,
it was quite big because I was sharing on WhatsApp, sharing on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere, like Facebook. Wow. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, so what do I do? So I then thought about it. Okay, as a community in Nigeria, it felt like we're consuming a lot of foreign content, like the Chris Does, the foreign guys, the pentagrams, the nice that those blogs, were a lot of blogs, Abu Dizo, all those blogs. And I was like, okay, I think it's time that we start reading from ourselves. Like it's time to start reading. Like designers in Nigeria start reading from like people that they feel
designers in Nigeria.
You understand?
They feel closer to.
Yeah. So then I started a blog. So May 27, 2019, I launched the Dear Designer blog, and it was supposed to be just articles about design, profiling top designers, case studies, just profiling, just getting case studies and featuring people on the website. So that was how it started, and then it became bigger. We started doing designer chats where we had an Instagram live session. We interviewed a lot of people there. Bolan Leban was a guest. Shutterberg was a guest. I'm not sure Niyi was a guest on that. Then we did Design Live, which was a 5-day program where people designed live. Like we had New York in that Design Live program. We designed live, like it was live designing, and people were asking questions. People were following him. I was designing. We did that. It was New York Praise Philemon, Shutterberg, and then that was that. Then 2020 we did a mentorship program, which was really big. Like it was,
I remember that one.
we had
I remember
over we had
COVID
one
year.
we had 1601 applicants, and then we only
Wow.
took 100, or we took 101.
Okay.
Yeah, 101. We were like 40 mentors, or 40 or 48. I can't remember. I think 40, between 40 and 40. I can't remember the number.
Massive.
But we had a lot of
That was
mentors. We
massive.
had mentors in digital art, brand design, product design. We even had mentors in industrial design, which is not like it's not a common field in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Industrial design. We had mentors in like motion design and the likes. So we had like the biggest names in design in Nigeria. Koka, Sheyi, Mary, Dami, like everybody.
Yeah. It was. I remember clearly.
Yeah.
It was big.
Yeah, it was big. It was big. And the thing is, a lot of people were mentees then. Like they are doing amazingly well. Like amazingly well. Now people, I mean, currently the Paystack design team, there are 2 people on the Paystack design team that were part of the designer mentorship.
Wow.
There are people who are leading design,
testimonial.
Startups. Yeah, they're part of designer mentorship. Yeah, there are a lot of people like that. And that was it. So we did it. Mentorship was big. In 2021, we had bigger plans. Like bigger plans. We had plans for a design library. We had plans for design fellowship. We had plans to expand the blog and a lot of other stuff. Then we hit a great lock. So which was, we designed the website, and then it took ages for the developer to get it back to us, and then we just dragged along. You know, when something is delaying you and you also get delayed, we just dragged our legs. It was myself and Simeon,
especially with everything else going on, you know, with life and everything, and your career.
Yeah, I was also
going on.
So just dragged along, and then the year ended. We didn't do much. 2021. Then 2022, we said, okay, we picked ourselves up again, and then we started releasing articles. We now have the blog, the website properly designed, started releasing articles. We even had plans to do a mentorship program again, 2.0, but that didn't happen. And then life just happened. Like I was very busy with work. There was a time in 2022 I was doing like 3 jobs. So like I was really, really busy. Like, and then gradually, then my partner too, Simeon also moved to a new country, moved to Sweden. I was also trying to settle in a new country. So we just dragged, and then that was how the designer just like
eased out.
Yeah, eased out. And then so last year I made a difficult decision, which is, people keep asking me, how about their designer? I mean, if I meet 4 designers, 2 of them will ask me, how about their designer? What's happening? If someone still messaged me about their designer like 2 weeks ago, about their designer, I'm like, okay, I can't keep feeling guilty about this thing. That why not just close it? Like, why not just we've tried? Let's just end it. It's good. Things can end. Like, So instead of just struggling with it and doing nothing and feeling guilty and poor skills, I spoke to my guy Simeon. I said, Simeon, let's just close this. You understand? And we worked with a lot of volunteers. Like a lot of people volunteered their time without being paid to write, to interview people, to build the website, to do a lot of things for us. So I just, Simeon, let's just close this. Let's just put a stop. And he also agreed. But what we did is the website is still up. The website is still up, and I still have my email. Senior Days and the Extra Days is still active. So I mean, it means that probably in the near future or far future, maybe Design can make a comeback. You understand? But at the moment, it is on a, I won't say it's on a break. It is done for now. Okay. Maybe the next phase will be, we are launching another version or another iteration of Dear Designer. So that was it. So it was a lot of impact that we made in that time. Really, it was a lot of impact. The mentorship was a big one, because I mean, every now and then you see people and you're like, this person was a mentee. This person was a mentee. This person was a mentee. And then they're also grateful for the experience. Grateful for I met a guy at an event on Tattoo Designers Conference. I met him 2020. Was it the one I spoke? I think it was one I spoke at, or either 2024 or 2023. And then he came to me and said, He greeted me. He said, "Do I know him?" I said, "I'm not sure." He said his name. I said, "Oh, you are the one." He said, that their designer changed his life. That at that time was working at Brass as a product designer. He said, "Oh, their designer changed his life." That he did like spoke, and he was like, he's begging me, like, please bring this back. I am ready to be a volunteer. I'm ready to do anything, but please bring this back. That was how impactful it was. Like, it was really impactful. It was really impactful.
Wow, what a story, Tunji! What a story! It's like almost like, I mean, for lack of a better example, like almost like losing a child. You know, like like letting go of something so close and personal to you. How did you feel making that difficult decision? I want to know.
How I felt was that it was a mixed feeling, but it was more of gratitude that I'm grateful for what we're able to do. I'm grateful for the people who were able to impact and make a change in their lives. It was more of that, and also, I mean, because so another thing that gave us like some sort of comfort is that the things we set out to do in that 2021 plan, those things are also being done now. So at the time that Designer started, there were a lot of people doing community. We had a few. We had Design Jobcaster, we had Lagos Meet, Dribble Meetup. We had a few, but there were not a lot of people doing community. But now we have a lot of people doing community. You understand? And we had them usable. We had usable. So, but now, when we were making that decision, we also felt like people already caught the fire of community. You understand? The things we set out to do, people are doing it in different ways. So, for instance, there's an event, the Odol happens once a month. I'm a big part of that community. Shout out to David and Sam for what they're doing. Now that program, I don't know if you have told David before, like, we had an idea like that, you understand, in 2021, but we couldn't do it. But someone else is doing it. Support them. Like, a lot of people, like, mentorship program. For a friend of mine, Kayode, started a mentorship program in 2022, blank mentorship, and I was part of it. I helped him bring the first set of mentors. Because I know people, this design community. People who have designing, the people who start designing, I may not know a lot of them, but people who start designing around the time I started designing, or maybe like 3-4 years after, I knew a lot of people. So I helped him talk to the mentors. If anybody said no mentorship program, I would like to join. And then that was so. I'm like, okay, even if designer is not doing these things again, other people are doing it, and I'm still a part of that one way or the other. There are a lot of communities that I'm a part of, like passing the mantle or the baton. Okay, the work is done, but the work continues. Like, other people have continued the work.
Wisdom. No, that makes a lot of sense, and that's really well said. I remember asking Shay as well that, why did you close that design? Why did you close that design?
When I heard, I was shocked. What?
I was like, what? No. But then when he told me, I was like, okay, fair enough. But when he was speaking about how he felt, it was emotional. It was quite emotional. In your experience so far, what has it been like, working with Nigerian brands, startups, building or restructuring or re-strategizing? What has that experience been like for you?
It's been such an experience. It's been a lot of highs and lows and everything in between. But the thing about it is that you just see, initially it was a hard sell. For instance, it was a hard sell to sell branding to businesses. You understand? Especially small businesses or even startups are just starting. But now there are a lot of case studies you can point to. You understand? There are a lot of them. You can point to Paystack, point to Piggyvest, point to Number, point to Carrywise, point to a lot of them, like Okra, Mono. There are a lot of people you can point to. And then it gives me joy, because when I started designing professionally, it was around the time that the startup wave started, 2015, 2016.
Lucky you.
You understand? And now looking back at the past 9 years, you discover that the people who have worked on the most ambitious startups around are people that probably my peers, people who started designing after me or maybe a bit before me. You understand? And then you're like, okay, you could see a lot of, you could, oh, if you say show workings, these are the things that we did already. Look at this business. Look at, I mean, for instance, nobody can underplay the importance of branding for a pay stack or a piggy vest. You understand? Because like,
absolutely,
you see how they've
like,
grown through the years. You've seen how they've grown to different milestones, different trajectories. And you could see something that is true is that they've communicated consistently. You understand? If you tap people that what about this startup, they will tell you that, oh, this is what they do. You understand? This is why I like them. You understand? This is why I love working with them or love doing business with them. You understand? So yeah, I mean, branding as it were is an interesting concept. I mean, it's so tangible and so intangible at the same time. You understand? It's so you can't measure it, and you can also see things that it's okay, you can measure it. You understand? Seeing how businesses launch, and then you see how because I mean, I remember then, I mean, when I wanted to start saving, you understand, when I wanted to start saving, and then there were like two major savings platforms that I knew, then Kairos and PiggyVest. And then I remember when I had to make the choice, it was how does it look? How does it make me feel? You understand? How does it make me feel? Do I feel secure with this one and not this one? You understand? So that is the impact of design. That's the impact of branding. When people can know you for who you are. You understand? Why people can vouch for you. And there's also something that about branding that people probably don't talk about, which is when you make mistakes, people make excuses for you.
Absolutely.
That is branding. Like you've built such a good perception that when you make it, people are like,
that equity.
Maybe such equity. Maybe we can forgive them. We can forgive them. You understand? You know, there have been times globally that Apple or Samsung, they could release a product and they call it back. That, this product that we did, there's a mistake, call it back. Now they can do that because they've built something solid. It's just like, and there are other people in that category that if they do that, they probably fail.
They probably never come back.
Probably never come back.
And so many brands do that. I've done that and never come back.
It's like when you fall from a height, you can fall on stone, you can fall on a soft. You can fall and then the parachute just picks up,
saves you,
and then you land safe. Those two people fell, but one person has a safe, as a safe.
One has a balloon.
One has a balloon. One does not have a balloon. So let's assume that balloon is branding. You understand?
Yeah.
And when we say design, it's just intentional. It's just purpose driven. It's just you saying, I want to do this thing. I want to do it well. You understand? Another thing your brand is also consistency. Like I want to. Because without consistency, there's no branding. Like, without consistency, there's no branding. Use blue today, use green tomorrow, use purple next tomorrow, and there's no connection. You're just shouting. You're just shouting at different pitches. You're just today you're shouting, tomorrow you're singing, next tomorrow you're whispering. You understand? But with constant branding, people can know you for who you are. That this is this brand. This is what they're saying. You understand? This is because why? Because you've said it before. You understand? Why do they know what you're saying? Because you said it so well that they now know it. You said that same thing so well that they now know it. You understand? That same 2 + 2 = 4 today, 2 + 2 = 4 tomorrow, 2 + 2 = 4 next tomorrow. So they know you for that. So when they say, 2 + 2, it's 4, because now they've known you for who you are. You understand? You've stayed true to it, and you still stay true to it, so that when you are making little changes, they can follow you along the journey because you've built that trust, you've built that credibility. They can easily move. I mean, Paystack recently released a new product. There's a lot of people saying, they know the research, blah 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 blah, but you can still see that brand love.
It's like, let's give them grace.
If it was another brand, they'll say, why? How did you do this? You are never okay. I did rubbish. But they've built that credibility. They've built that trust.
That credibility.
You can make an excuse for them. That maybe they did it deliberately, but we don't even know. Like, you just know that what you can expect from a brand like this.
It's like track record.
Like you've seen them build things. You've seen how they build stuff with care. You've seen how they build stuff with so much attention. So like, if they are doing this and we are seeing this,
they haven't been erratic.
They haven't been erratic. So they could make a mistake, but we are making excuses for them that this is not, this is a blip. This is just a blip. Like, this is not who they are. You understand? They'll come back from this. Understand? So I'm just saying that as an example that you've seen those case studies.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So if you don't pay attention to branding, you're losing this thing.
Wizkid FC. Do you know Wizkid FC?
Yeah.
Do you actually know about that army? It's actually an army.
I know. I see them on Twitter. I see how
they are the most vicious army I know of.
Yeah.
Trust me. If Wiz, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, I just wanted to make an example because this is not fintech, but this is also a brand. Wizkid is a brand. If Wizkid drops a sound that sounds like maybe Pangolo, just without, for lack of a better word, a sound that sounds like Pangolo, maybe just playing Pangolo, Wizkid FC will defend that thing till the death. Anybody that comes to that thing, they will shut the person down. So just to make it,
exactly.
Just that example.
And you know how Wizkid got there is that you could see that over the years he has built consistency. You understand? He has given people something to believe in. You understand? He has been with them through different phases of their lives. You understand? And they now feel like, oh, this person is part of me. So you get so that is it. Like you now see yourself as part of that business. You're no longer a user. You're now a believer.
No.
You
he invited them now for a dinner.
You understand?
He invited them over for a dinner.
You're no longer just a user. You're now an army.
We're a team. An army.
Exactly.
He sees them as part of his ecosystem.
So if you don't, if you're not taking branding seriously, it means that you are losing that reason. It means you're not rallying people around the purpose. They're just using you because they can gain from you. You're not building fans. You're not building believers.
You're having influencers instead of fans.
Exactly. You're not building people that. So for instance, I support Arsenal, and then all through this, all through these years, you understand? There is that sense of belonging. There's that sense of this is what I'm doing. And so I was at the Emirates Stadium some weeks back, and then I could see.
I'll hold back from shading you, but go on.
It's fine. I could see how people are rallying around a vision. Arsenal hasn't won a major trophy in years, but you could see that people still see a reason to believe. You understand?
True.
There's still there are connections. Like for instance, there are connections. There are different touch points. That's the word. There are different touch points.
It's actually crazy when you think about it.
There are different touch points. There are players, managers, the football, the club.
I think it's even the ideology, right? And
the ideology.
I think the ideology is crazy. It's like they inspire you to just believe something somehow. I have one guy, one of my good egmons here. He recently jumped ship from Man U to Arsenal. I was like, how do you jump ship from Man U to Arsenal? It's like he just believes something about them, and I'm like, he didn't. I mean, most people jump from Madrid to a Spanish league, so that they don't have any connection with English.
Exactly.
Or Barcelona, they just jump across.
But if you study this brand, you see that they give you different touch points. You understand to believe in. So, for instance, the Arsenal shop is called the Armory. They sell billions of pounds. Like people just come in and they just want to identify. You can identify with them. You can see yourself in that brand. You can see yourself in that business. You can see yourself in that person. You understand? And there's a reason to believe that goes beyond what meets the eye. When people say, "How are you supporting us?" And I'm like, I don't understand. Am I supposed not to support us now? Like, what am I supposed to do? It means it has passed the stage of logic. It has entered emotion. It has entered, it has
an
emotional
connection.
That's past logic. They are connected, kind of. And that is that. So as a business, if you don't take branding seriously, you're probably losing. You're probably just operating on the surface. Now, for instance, Apple is one of the greatest brands that's existed and still existing.
Yeah.
Then you ask people, why are you using an iPhone? I don't. Is there an alternative?
Like, what else is there?
Do you understand? It's
For
over the
real.
years
That's what I'll
of-
tell you.
Yeah,
What else
like,
is there?
okay, so what am I supposed to be using? Oh, there's another phone brand.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Really?
I thought it's
I
just
didn't know.
iPhone. I have no
I thought it
idea.
was just iPhones.
Do you understand?
Exactly.
It's years of consistency, like consistency, like over the years. You see how these people, their message is clear. When Apple is when they have the Apple event, they are really not selling. They are not selling the specs.
They're not selling.
They're selling stories.
They're not. The stories.
When they are selling the AirPod or something, they're telling you about or the iWatch. They're saying
how it affects people's lives,
and then because of the iWatch, like stories.
Yeah,
reason to believe. Because if it comes to the technicality of things, you can't really say no. You can see argue. You can argue logic.
You can argue.
You can't argue emotions. You can't argue stories. Do you understand?
And you know what's crazy, actually, even Tunji, is that one thing I've told people is that when people come to want to argue out like Apple versus any other brand, they come from that logic perspective, right? They're like, camera.
That conversation is not there. That's gonna end.
I'm like, see, you don't get it. We can't even have this conversation. We're talking about Steve Jobs.
Yeah,
it's Steve Jobs. The ideology of Steve Jobs cascaded down from him to Apple. Right? Yeah. What he believed in cascaded down to his product. He was one, anchoring the launches, those their product launches. And you see him, no notes, just with you just bring it out of his pocket and just the iPod. Like that was a revolutionary moment in the world, talking about how many songs you can have on a device. I was like, why is he not talking about the storage? Why is he not talking about, the fact that it's sleek, it's nice?
Exactly. Those things are there, but no, I'm taking it to a deeper level. I'm taking you to another level.
Like how it affects your life.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, so you see yourself in that brand. You understand? And that is small businesses, they just need to so I see something I said, there is branding for every level. Like we call something minimum viable brand. Like there's a minimum viable brand for everybody. Like no matter your level, there is branding. And if you see like Apple and the big guys, you could see consistency. You could see consistency deep.
Absolutely.
You could see there's a purpose. Like the reason why they're doing what they're doing is clear and it's consistent. There's a clear messaging. Their name is catchy. Like how they present themselves is clear. Like it's clear.
It's clear.
You go to
clean.
Like one day I went to an Apple store and I'm like, why? And I can press it, like I can interact with it.
Yeah.
Like I can go to the Apple Store and use the iPad and see everything. There are pictures there. They are like you could see how they are so intentional. So even if you're a small business, of course you don't have the budget of Apple. Even if you have the budget of Apple, we shouldn't spend it because then you're punching above your weight. You understand?
Exactly.
But as the scale that you are, there are things you can do. You can be consistent. What is your message then? You understand? How do you talk to people? When customers complain, how do you talk to them? You understand? Yeah. When you are writing your captions on social media, how do you word it? You understand? Can they see a sense of, can they see you for who you are? You understand? And can they see it consistently? So it's in those small things. You understand? When they send you an email, how do you reply to the email?
How do you reply?
You understand? When a customer is angry and they come to you, how do you respond to it? What do you say? How do you say it? You understand? What are your key messages? The things, how do you show up? Show up consistently. At the very least. Your name is Mojib's Creations. How does that appear? Let it appear the same way everywhere. At the least. So that's it. So just be consistent. Like consistency is the order of the game. I used to say something about branding that it's better you are consistently wrong than for you to be right today and wrong tomorrow.
Yeah, wrong tomorrow.
It's better.
So I've taken a lot of cues and notes from that last one you just said. Let's talk a bit about FourthCanvas and about working at FourthCanvas, and it's just about building like an agency in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Building like it's like a startup as well.
Yeah,
It's like a business. One thing that I know that businesses go through is problems or challenges such as like recruitment, retention, some culture. Especially for me, I think culture has been the biggest part for me, aside just even retention or maybe like recruitment. How have you been able to, instill culture at FourthCanvas in your experience so far?
So when people talk about culture, they're thinking of what you are writing down, or what is our culture?
Your vision and mission statement.
What is our culture? How do we? But the thing about culture, especially for a small business, and a small business is a business that is probably in their 10 years, 10 years down, and maybe 10 years below, and even that, is that, of course, the other division of small businesses, I'm just saying for this context, is that is the culture is the people. That's the culture. So when you say the culture at FourthCanvas, for instance, if you ask me what's the culture at FourthCanvas, I probably can't. I don't have it in my head. You understand? But I can point to it in people. Do you understand? And that, I think, for us at FourthCanvas, that is what has kept us all over these years. Is that I joined FourthCanvas 2016. FourthCanvas started 2015 November. I joined 2016 June. Mary joined 2017 February. A lot of people on the team, 2020, 2019, 2021. And then all through these years is that when people join, they can see the culture through people. There's something we do or we did before. At the end of the year, when we are giving awards for the end of the year awards, what we do is we give awards for our core values. Who on the team has displayed this core value, that we've seen it in them, and then give them an award for so and so. And then we did it. We also did it in our last week offsite as well. So the culture is a people, because when you, of course, it's documented, it's written down somewhere, but people need to see it in you. That's the best way to pick culture. When they see the way you address them in meetings, when they see the way you address them when they fall short, when they see the way you address clients, when they see the way you are handling challenges, they are seeing that culture through you, and they are learning, they are picking it up.
True.
That is a better way than every meeting you are reading the culture to them. Our culture in this company is this.
And then go ahead and do something else.
Exactly. Like what is culture? Culture is a way of life. Social studies culture. Culture is the way of life. So if it's the way of life, then leave it. Let people see.
Then leave it.
You understand?
Makes sense.
Especially when the company is not big yet. When your company is now 100, 200, at that time, because you now need to let that culture, you now need to let it come from the leadership. So when your company is 1,000, 5,000, there's someone you are reporting to, and that's probably the person that gives you the picture of the company. The person you are reporting to, the people you work with. So for instance, if we work together on a team and we report to a boss, I'll feel like I can learn the culture of the company from the person I report to more than the person that I work with. Because the person I report to is like a custodian in that sense. So it's the people, it's the leaders. So even if it's written, of course it should be written now. There should be onboarding, proper onboarding. But people catch cultures by the people they work with, the people they report to.
True.
That's how they see it. That's how they that's like I've seen it in 3D. Instead of it to be reading culture, you're now seeing it.
You've seen it live.
You're seeing it in action.
Yeah.
We also see how the younger people on the team, they are also being friends with one another. So that's how you are scaling it. Like they can see it in you. They can see how you are living out that culture, that sense of belonging. You understand?
Oh wow, Tunji, thank you so much. That was great. That was great. You explained culture in a very concise manner and from a different perspective as well. Another thing that I think maybe just in a few words you can also speak about is, you've touched on it, but leadership, right? Some people, different people have like different ways of, going about leadership. You mentioned that you lead teams, you lead different teams, project based on projects. What are some of the things that you've done to drive your team? Like when you're leading projects to get people to be productive, when people are not forthcoming, how do you canvas them? How do you, get the team up and running to be able to deliver projects in time and in quality? I think those are some of my own challenges, work as an entrepreneur, building a brand, delivering projects. So what are some of the things that you've done to, to lead your team?
So one thing we do at FourthCanvas is that is an open culture of speak up. Like when you want to do something, I mean, for instance, you are designers. Creativity is it's not linear. Like it's not that you go like this and you get the results. Like at times that going zigzag, haphazard, ideas come from anywhere. You understand? So it's an open culture of speak up. Like don't speak up when. So let's say there's a deadline. You're supposed to deliver something on Wednesday. You had 1 week for that, for instance. It's not Tuesday now that you're speaking of that. I'm blocking. Okay. I have creative block. Or there's no idea.
That's so specific.
Earlier. Like speak up earlier. Yeah. Like so for me, for instance, I talk through solutions. How do I put it? So when I want to solve problems, I just talk through. I just call somebody. I will talk through it, and then in that talking through, the solutions would come. You understand? So what we advise is that when we are working on different parts of a project, like speak up, like don't do it alone. Like don't do it alone, even though it's your task. Don't do it alone. You understand? You could call somebody who say, this is what I'm working on. This is why I'm. What do you think about it? What do you think about it? You understand? See, a lot of the logos we worked on or projects we worked on in the past, there are things that when we're just talking, somebody just brings the idea, brings the concept, and then someone else just picks it forward and then takes it further and further and further. I remember when we were working on number, and then it was in my house then, Friday. Then I think 4 of us were just talking about a project, just trying to get ideas, and then someone just catched and said, look at this idea, explain the idea, and then that was it. And then we took it through different processes and then fleshed it out and this and that. So we encourage open culture. Just speak up. Like just speak up. Don't just die in your what's it called? In your silence. And then don't wait till the end. We also encourage that if you can't meet a deadline, like speak ahead. Like when you meet a deadline on Friday, it's not Friday morning you will know. You would know from the way this is going. I'll probably be able to meet this deadline. You understand? So we encourage that culture of seeking help within. Speak up when you're not getting it, when it's not eating. Like speak up, speak to someone, it could even be your boss. And then this is not only we are just to encourage this thing. Even when people are doing personal projects in their daily lives, projects that you just speak up. It's not just when you're working on FourthCanvas project. When you're also doing your own project, maybe your friend is on your business and you're designing logo for your friend. Even if that's the case, speak up. Do you understand? So we're encouraging that even in your day-to-day projects, in your day-to-day, in your own personal projects and activities, speak up. Speak up.
I definitely can agree 100% on that one. That there's something I even ask some of my designers as well, that I want to see your personal project. I want us to have a session on your personal project, because I feel like you also get to see a side of them that feels more free, more
authentic.
That is more authentic. They're not working based on a brief.
Exactly.
They are the ones calling the shots. They are the ones bringing the brief. They're the ones executing it. So they're in charge. I feel like that's where I get to really, interact with the real genuine self, like the person that really wants to create, and those things that they really, really want to explore themselves. And I feel like that's something that I've incorporated in my own framework, and it makes sense that you have that culture as well. I think we're coming to the end. We've really spoken a lot. I've really thoroughly enjoyed. It doesn't feel like it's a long session, but it's been long. But we need to wrap it up at some point. So I'll just ask you some random questions. and then I'll do the closing question. We have a closing question that we ask all our guests.
Okay.
If you weren't, should I ask this? I'll still ask it anyway. If you weren't a designer, what would you be?
Probably an engineer. Probably civil engineer. Probably maybe even a software engineer. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe even a software
I thought you say physiotherapist.
You said? No.
Are you more of a serif person or a sans serif person?
I think I'm more of a sans serif person.
Really? Your website is all serif.
Yeah, I'm more of a sans
FourthCanvas
serif
website.
So because the thing about serif and sans serif is that serif fonts are found. You don't look for serif, you just find it. They're like this. So sans serifs are everywhere. You see sans serif. So for instance, if you want to do stuff, the clean serifs. I can use Open Sans, DM Sans, all those fonts, Roboto, Arial, Vertical. When it comes to serifs, serifs are for special uses, and then there's an inside joke that you don't look for serifs, you find it, you just discover it. You just discover it, yeah. So I'm because I use more of sans serifs in my day to day. You understand? Yeah. So I'm more of a sans serif person.
Would you rather stay indoors and watch a TV show or watch a movie, or go out to hang out with friends?
Go out to hang out with friends.
You're an outside person. Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably after that I'll probably even host people.
Yeah. Probably our first guest that will say that I will admit to being an open.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
interesting. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm also an outdoor person. I can be both, but I think more naturally I'm an outdoor person. Yeah. I have so much more I could ask you, questions. I feel like we could chat for years, and it's been really fun chatting with you. But I think we'll just wrap it up here. So, man, thank you.
Hi, my name is Tunji, and you're listening to the Hungry Creative Podcast.